There we go. We are recording now.
Big man, what's going on? Welcome back to
Hello.
episode 56. And the big man there was addressed to all of the audience because you are, in fact, all big.
Big men. You're all men.
I don't think you're allowed to say that, Jack.
I am. I can say that. In
Right,
the
okay.
room, I've got the dog. If you're a viewer, there's my dog. There's a little
He
surprise.
looks like he's about to eat the computer.
He always has his mouth open. He's ready to consume at will. He takes after his papa.
What a slag.
That's me, mate. Oi. Good boy.
Oi, oi, oi. What have you been up to this week?
This week it was my birthday, which was nice. I'm
I hope you
22
had a
years
shit
old.
day.
Yeah, it was awful, mate. You were there. Actually, you weren't there, so it was great. Um, I'm 22. I've had a lot of messages about people not believing that I'm 22, either thinking that I'm more. Actually, I don't think anyone's thought I was younger. Everyone's thought I was older, which I guess is cool. I'll take that. I've had a lot of clients be like, "I didn't realize you were 22," and now I feel like they think I'm really young. So there we go. But it was good. Enjoy
Good, mate.
myself.
It's not
Um,
good.
a lot of people are older than I
Oh,
thought,
God.
to be
This is the
honest.
wrong bit of the song. That's so sad.
What did you just fuck up? What did you just fuck
I was
up?
going to try and play the Taylor Swift song.
Of course you were, mate. I've heard that joke so many times. I didn't realize that Ben Henson was 24. I've never focused on people's ages.
Really?
Yeah,
My man's old?
I've never focused on people's ages, but now like because I've had a few people message me being like, "Holy shit, you're really young," and I'm like, I don't think I'm really young. I'm young. But then I was looking at like other people's ages, and I was like, "Oh shit, okay, Ben's like 24. Um, fucking yeah, well, Finn, to be fair, Finn Kelly's younger than I thought. He's like 26. I thought he was older than that. Mate, it's so weird. It's so weird.
This is a great podcast.
Yeah, just talking about people's ages. Hey, how's your week been? My week's been boring. Fuck it. How's your week been?
What have I been up to? Uh, I'm
Uh,
deloaded. Fucked.
how long you been
My
deloading
elbows
for?
hate me. My shoulders hate me. I'm ill.
Now who's Mr. Injury? Prick.
And I'm going to Berlin this weekend, so that'll be fun.
Oh, okay, that is actually sick. Talking of injuries,
So nice deload there.
I flared up my knee. Um,
What a surprise.
because King got off the lead. Well, he's off the lead and he ran after a cat, and I knew that running
Did you
after
get it?
him. No, luckily, I knew that that running after him was going to kill my knee because I've done no impact work at all for my knee. My knee's not ready for me to jump on it, and I fucking sprinted at 90 kilo, and it felt fine the day of, but then the day after, I like went to go out, get out of bed, and like my patella lit up, and I just like fell to the floor. Like it was just weak. So I haven't trained. Today's the first day I've trained legs in like 10 days. I went to see my physio, and he's like, "Yeah, you've really pissed off your knee. You put way too much load through it." And I was like, "Yeah, call me fat. It's okay."
That's so
um. Anyway,
jokes.
Berlin, mate. What's going on in Berlin?
I don't really know. We're just sort of going to see
Who's
the
we?
city. Me, my mum, my sister, and my nan. My mum rang me and she was like, "We're going to Berlin. You want to come?" I'm like, "Yeah, free holiday. Who would say no to that? Let's go."
People who like spending money.
Yeah, exactly. So that should be all right. Plan of action is to not track anything because I'm not a nonce.
Good boy.
So gonna be doing the old intuitive eating, except I don't like intuitive eating. I think it's a retired term because it's like just listen to what you want to have and do whatever you want and nothing matters. There's no consequences to life. Just wishy-washy your way through life. It's like, no, that's what you've been doing for the last 20 years. That's
Yep.
why you fucking hate yourself.
Yep.
Why don't you like actually learn a little bit about nutrition and then maybe you can not track shit and not get fat.
Thank God you said it, man. Like
Yeah.
if intuitive eating worked, everyone would love how they looked. No one would have any food related disability. Like type 2 diabetes wouldn't exist, gout wouldn't
It's
exist.
not a disability, is it?
Fucking whatever, disease, I guess would be the phrase, disease.
Yeah, disease.
Disease. But yeah, like all of those medical conditions. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. Way he's back. His brain's back. I'm on prep.
Call yourself a coach. Jeez.
I'm not a fucking doctor though, am I? But all
No,
those
that's
medical,
true.
disclaimer, all those medical conditions associated with extremely poor nutrition for an extended period of time wouldn't exist because everyone would be intuitively just very healthy. They're just intuitively.
Bro, it's just my hormones.
When I go to the fridge, I see the chocolate bar, but I scran a raw onion instead because I just intuitively that's what I want. Yeah, in
Oh, dude, I think we can come back to this, but I think onions or garlic or ginger
Mhm.
have messed up my digestion
Good,
bad.
good, you bitch. You've laughed at me for years for not being able to digest onions or garlic, and now look at who it fucking affects. You,
Is that
little
what it
lactic
is?
Luke.
Mate, that's literally the first time I've had them in
Yeah,
like
yeah.
months, if not years. And I woke up this morning, I'm like, my stomach feels like a brick.
Yeah, mate, it's with those like I don't know what it is in particular. Maybe someone who's very fucking good with gut bacteria will tell me. There's something
Not us.
about yeah, fuck knows what's going
Your
in the
gut
gut.
microbiome doesn't matter. Eat less food.
In that context, it doesn't. To be fair, people are like, "I'm fat because my gut bacteria is out of whack." I'm be like, "Well, if that's true, then the prebiotic you take in would be making you slimmer." It's not. But
Just use Zoe, bruv. Solves it every time.
what the fuck is Zoe?
Oh, it's some nonsense app developed by a dude that wants to sell shit and not have people track calories.
Oh, mate, I see this on a TV all the time. I'm sure the scam is gonna like immediately click into place for you, right? Okay, so
Okay.
Luke, I'm gonna describe to you, right, an advert for a dieting company, and immediately you're gonna be able to tell me why this is going to work but not long term. Okay, so you sign up to this company, you enter in all your details, and they deliver to you special meals and you eat those meals and you lose weight. Okay? Now, why is that good, but also maybe not good?
I mean, they're probably going to have controlled those meals calorically in some way,
Yep.
and you've actually got fucking food to eat rather than snacking on random shite throughout the day
Yep.
and then having a massive meal in the evening because you're so hungry because you haven't eaten anything across the course of the day outside of stuff that they sell in fucking vending machines, which is obviously not ideal. Um, but long term, you're obviously not going to always order from that company ever, so you haven't actually learned anything outside of what do I eat from a tub.
So now you are dependent on this company to maintain any form of sensible eating habits. So immediately, like as soon as I saw it, I was like, they had all these testimonials. Oh my god, this helped me, drop so many kilos and stones and pounds. I'm like, yeah, fucking of course it did. They just basically gave a meal plan like we do, but they delivered it to their door. But the issue is there's no education. Okay, if I gave someone morbidly obese that food, and then I took it away from them, fuck knows what they're going to do, right? Yeah, sure, some people might make sensible decisions. I think that's a pretty low amount of people. So I would say that this is almost borderline scammy because you're going to see success, but they're deliberately holding back that information so that you are reliant on them for maintained success. So if you lose the weight and you want to keep going, or you want to hold what you have to keep paying the money. Imagine if we did that. Imagine if we were like, we just didn't give any details or teach people about nutrition at all. So we just gave
Yeah,
them,
Jack. So why have you put those blueberries in meal free? Oh, sorry, mate. You got to pay me for next month's coaching before you can find that out.
yeah, exactly. Or like, or no, it's even worse than a meal plan because in a meal plan, at least you can see what's in the food. Like if you can see chicken and rice, you can be like, it's this much chicken, it's this much rice. Okay, I could probably, work out the calories and macros.
Really inventive meal there, mate.
I know, you're welcome. But they're literally like hand delivering the food pre-made to your door. So when you get your chicken and rice, you fuck knows what's in it. Chicken and rice. To what extent? To how many grams? What? How is it cooked? I don't know. Mate, yeah, I saw that. It like did piss me off a little bit. That I'm like, people are really willing to just pay more money to then get like indoctrinated into this company. Jaron.
Yeah, the one that I was on about is I can't remember if I said this, but the dude was on Stephen Bartlett's podcast, so
Hmm.
that's always a good sign to start off with. Um,
Is that
so
sarcastic?
it's like a white circle thing you stab into your arm, and it's a
Oh
continuous
yeah, yeah.
glucose monitor, and it tells you if it's spiked your blood sugar or not. And funnily enough, Jack, they encourage people to eat nutritious, whole, single ingredient foods. I'm
Oh,
like, dude, come on,
fuck's
really?
sake. Fuck's sake, man.
Yeah.
Mate, we
No
need to
mention of
get
calories. Just like it's just like calories don't matter. I'm like, right, okay, yeah, sure.
Mate, we need to get in
Fucking
on
done.
this. We need to get in on this. We need to sell people a fat loss pill, right? For like a hundred quid a pill. But alongside
They
they
make
have
that, bro. DNP.
no, but
Fine.
ours is a sugar pill, right? Sugar-free pill,
Oh yeah.
actually. But in order for the fat loss pill to work, they have to routinely resistance train, have a higher level of expenditure, track the calories and macros, and adhere to that long term. So
Yeah. Seems about right. Um,
legit, oh mate, that's so fucking funny, honestly. Like I bet so many people start that thing and they're like, "Wow, I feel so good and so energized, and I actually eat a lot less food now, and I feel a lot more full." It must be the magic thing in my arm. Christ, man.
yeah. I'm
The
just looking at this, like, really,
the thing
really. It's
is,
the same
like,
with fucking Huel Greens adverts. I'm like, fuck off.
oh my
Like,
god,
just leave me alone. I don't want your greens powder. I can
is
eat vegetables, not a 2-year-old.
is that Stephen bloke? Is he the bloke I'm thinking of? Because he advertises in the Huel products, right?
Yeah.
He's a shareholder in Huel. Yeah, Stephen
Yeah.
Bartlett. Yeah, he's a
So he's not
shareholder.
biased at all.
He I saw it in one of the ads. I've seen like 50 adverts from Huel, and one of them was him being like, new Huel product of which I'm a shareholder in. And I'm sure he does that in all of his podcasts. But the Huel marketing team, oh my god, we're gonna get absolutely rinsed. We're gonna get so sued for this podcast. Wow, holy shit. First of all, fuck. Second of all, I'm gonna keep going. But the Huel marketing team just take that, like him out of context, being like, this is the new product from Huel. It's great. Also, I hate their advertising. They'll be like, I'm so busy that I have to have a McDonald's or I don't eat. I'm just so busy. And it's like, come on, we both know that's not true, right? If Christian has time to get food, you have time to get food. I think the whole I'm too busy to eat thing, for the most part, I would say is debunked. Okay? If you're,
Well, it preys on people's insecurities and what they think their problem is,
yeah,
doesn't it?
it's
They're like, oh,
more,
they're acknowledging that I think I'm too busy, so I'm just gonna get this thing. So
I,
much easier.
I think the thing that people don't want to hear is that they have more free time than they think. Like, whenever I talk to people who are being very, very stubborn and being a bit close, because whenever I talk to someone who's like, I'm really busy, I'm like, first of all, you have to take that at face value because maybe they fucking are, right? You don't want to come in there and be like, oh, you're not. But like talking to people and just being like, okay, run me through your day. And if it doesn't sound that busy and people are very, very, I'm busy, you don't fucking understand. I'll be like, hey, can you do something for me? Can you tell me your screen time on your phone? And it'll be like even 3 hours. And I'll be like, well, that's something, right? That's 3 hours. Do you need 3 hours to cook? No, you fucking don't. Oh, for fuck's sake. I gotta sort out the dog. Bear with me one sec.
Yeah, so you definitely do not need like 3 hours to cook all your food for the day. I think when I meal prep, it takes me half an hour to do my chicken, rice, and loads of different fucking veggies because I'm a good boy. They call me Mr. Micros. Um, and then it takes me like 40, 50 minutes to do my chili and that sort of thing, which is also pretty decent. And then I can make like my yogurt, berries, oats, all that stuff in like 15 minutes.
Nice.
Like it doesn't take that long. Yes, they don't look that pretty, but they fucking do the job. Like it doesn't take ages to cook decent food. And if you're not sure what to cook, drop us a DM. We'll send you a fucking recipe book and you'll be sorted, mate. Jeez, coaching plug. Let's go.
Yep. Literally, like, I was talking about this on my story the other day. Whenever people hear meal prep, you're just preparing nutrition, right? We should call it like macro planning or something. I don't know, something less shit. Whenever people hear meal prep, they think of like a slow cooked brisket for the week, a fucking 7 layer lasagna that took me 2 hours to make. Like, no, mate, my meal prep, back when I could digest whey, would literally be there would be days where my meal prep would be dextrose and whey, two powders. That's a meal. It's carbs, it's protein.
It's
I
not.
could
That's
I
a
could
dream.
get a fucking well there you go, it's close enough, mate. You could get a tin of tuna and a pack of bagels. Easy peasy. Squares bars, easy peasy. Tortillas, easy peasy. Any form of bread, guess what? You can eat that as it is. Rice, pasta, shit that like that that needs to be cooked. Yeah, you need to cook it. But I could literally buy a loaf of bread. Guess what? That's like 7 sandwiches sorted. And then you want a filling for them. Okay, well, we've got pre-cooked chicken. You can buy that. We've got tuna. You can buy that. You get tinned meat. You can buy that. Fucking mate, like there's so many different options in terms of what you're doing. And if you're really that busy, I'm sure you can spare a little bit of extra cash to go for those more convenient foods. Like,
Yeah. Like if you are really that busy, I mean, you're probably earning a decent amount of cash with all of that work that you're doing.
yep,
So why don't you buy some fucking meals?
yeah, literally. Like, obviously,
And this is where we announce that we're sponsored by Huel Hot and Savory.
this is the thing. Like, you know, people. I think it's more the idea of something than the reality of something that puts people off. And often you need to remind people that, like, hey, you could just have a couple fucking baby bells if you want, mate. Get some low fat baby bells and just
Yeah.
span a couple of those, bruv. You get a grenade bar, they're sick. Nice source of protein, decent. Eddie Abu doesn't approve, but fuck it, he doesn't know what he's on about. You know, you can just like buy. You could.
He literally spouts fitness myths that were disproved like 2 decades ago.
I know he's such a dick, but
It's
like,
hilarious, bruv.
mate, like Tesco meal deal, fucking protein shakes, like drinks. You can get good tasting, like you can get like gym kitchen microwave meals, stuff like that, like low calorie, high protein microwave meals. Now we live in 2024. Food is convenience, right? Like you are not the only person in the world who feels like they are busy. You 100% can do it if you want to, and it's a lot less painful than you think. You do just need to try that little bit. And I think often if people are still saying that they're too busy, it's because they'd rather give themselves an out than come to terms with the fact that they, like, to be a cliche, just don't want to do it or don't want it bad enough.
Yeah, it's so much easier to pass the buck off to something else than to admit that you don't actually want it bad enough.
Yeah. I looked this up the other day and I think I phrased it terribly on my story, but if you do a 9 to 5 right now, if you're working a 9 to 5, okay, and you're very, very busy because you're doing your 9 to 5, okay, yeah, you wake up early, you don't have much time to eat, you get to the office, lunch, eat something shit, get home, feel run down, take out, don't have much time at the weekends, you got a short social life, you got to fit that in. Maybe like me, you got to walk the dog, you got to fit in the gym. Fuck's sake, now I'm really busy. Where do I get all my time, right? I have to wait until I'm not busy. A 9 to 5, in terms of total time of your life, will take up an entire third of your life. Okay? And in terms of your adult life, it's going to make up pretty much all of it. If you're working a 9 to 5 right now and you really think you are too busy and you are genuinely waiting to stop being too busy, it's not going to happen. Okay? Your current routine will be your routine for literally decades. So if you want to get in shape, you need to come to terms with this is your routine and maybe hire someone else. Like the amount of conversations I've had with people like in their 20s, maybe in their 30s, but it's usually younger guys starting off with a 9 to 5. Things are just so manic right now, Jack. Mate, I'll wait till I've got a little bit more free time. You're not going to get that free time. The next time you have more free time than you do currently is when either you've been made redundant and you're looking for another job, you've quit your job, or you're retired, right? So it's now or never,
Not ideal.
basically. It's now or never. Like this is the way the world works, and me and Luke can vouch for. Like we've helped a lot of people who have 9 to 5s realize they have more time, spend some time in the gym, spend some time in the kitchen, and not fucking hate it. If you're working with a good coach, you're not going to feel like that's time wasted. You're actually going to enjoy what you're doing. Like that's the thing. I think people feel like they have such little free time, they cling to it, and it's like if you get a good coach, you'll actually realize, hey, this is kind of fun, and like,
And the shit that usually takes you the most time gets you the least results in the sense of like the amount of work that you need to do to just get decent fucking progress in the gym.
mhm.
Like decent progress on the scale isn't that much. to get like a little bit more, like an extra half a pound a week, is going to be a bit more difficult. You're going to have to commit some more time to cardio to build a bit more muscle mass or add a bit more on your lift. You're going to have to do an extra 6, 10 sets per week per muscle
Hmm.
group. Like, is that really worth it for you? No, probably not. And if you are really, really busy, and another thing is as well, is that we are most useful when your life is a fucking mess.
Yep.
Like that's literally what we do is help
Hmm.
people sort their shit out.
Yep.
So if you're like, yeah, actually my life's perfect right now. Okay, sound is going to be really fucking easy then.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I say this all
You
the
say
time.
follow the plan, bro. Send them a thumbs up after every check-in. It'll be
If
fine.
if you have maximum time to train, if you have maximum motivation to train, if you have maximum budget to spend on food, if you have maximum time to cook, if you have maximum adherence because you have nothing else to do, you're gonna grow pretty fucking easily. You don't like, yeah, you'll get more out of a coach, but you'll probably feel like you don't need one because you'll just be like, I go to the gym and I eat my food and I do really fucking well because I spend the rest of the day on my ass. Whereas like real people have real problems, and learning to work around those, or offloading that to someone else, like you can, like I don't think people realize this. You can pay someone to make that their problem, right? If you hire me or Luke, it is literally within our job description to make sure that you don't feel fucking miserable while you diet. We have to make that shit as easy as possible, or guess what? We don't get your money and we can't afford to feed ourselves or pay rent. So we need to make sure that you
Black's
guys.
food bill is expensive these days because man is fat as fuck.
Such a twat. It's actually not that bad. It's normally worse when I'm dieting, to be fair.
Yeah, I get what you mean, to be fair. So going back to the meal prep thing, then we were talking about this a little bit last week, and we were like, "Oh, this would be an interesting topic for the podcast." Because there's a thing there where like the first couple of times you start to take Tupperware to work or to an event or just out
Oh
with you
yeah,
for the
yeah,
day, everyone looks at you like, "Who the fuck does this geezer think he is? Bringing
yeah.
Tupperware out. He wasn't doing this 2 weeks ago. Does he think he's better than us? Why are you eating that? What have you got in that container? That sort of thing." But when me and Jack do it now, it's like, oh yeah, this is just the thing that they do.
Hmm.
It's normal for people to see us doing that sort of thing. But there's a bit of a paradox there because it's like, okay, how do you get to the point where you look good enough to justify it if you never do the shit that you would need to do in order to look good enough?
Yeah, 100%. Like, I spent more time looking like I don't train, walking around with Tupperware, than I have looking like I somewhat train, walking around with Tupperware. Like, I think a lot of the stuff that like people see what we do now and assume it's like, oh yeah, no, I waited until I was like 80 kilos or above, and then I started with the Tupperware. Like, I kind of earned it. Like, no, I still took my training seriously when I was 55 kilo, like as seriously as I could at the time, and like I still took my diet as seriously as I could at the time, like when I was just starting out. Like I was that guy who would go to a session, bring my food in my Tupperware, and like that's what's allowed me to get to the point I am now. Same for Luke.
Yeah, and it goes from what is that? Why are you eating that? All Mr. Healthy sort of thing
Mm.
to you're so disciplined. I could never do that. I really respect what you're doing.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the fuck, man? Like a lot of the time as well, what those people are saying when they're like, oh, look at you being all healthy or um almost like slyly making fun of you for giving a
Hmm.
shit about your nutrition as if it's weird, which it's
Hmm.
not. Like it's fucking weird that people don't care about their health. Um, but what those people are essentially saying is your commitment to this thing reminds me of my own failings in the past. So I'm going to try and make you feel bad about it. So you fail as well,
Yeah.
and then we can both be failures together.
Yeah, they are trying to drag you down with them. I think. Yeah, like it's so weird though because you do reach a point, like particularly with like coaching both me and Luke now. People see us with a Tupperware and they're like, oh yeah, like it's their job, like it's what they do, and like it's normal. And for the longest time we were those people where, again, you'd have like literally you could like there'd be situations where I'd be uncomfortable to like take Tupperware out because I knew that maybe somewhere someone was going to be weird about it, because maybe they tried and failed to get into the gym, or they failed a diet, or they just seem to have to say something about what you're eating, and you're going to encounter those people. And I think you just have to kind of let it roll off you, I guess, and not stress about it too much, as much as
Yeah. So
possible.
a lot along with the reframe of this is why these people are saying things.
Mm.
I found that very, very useful. There's also the thing of, okay, if this person seriously judges me for wanting to do this thing, they're probably not someone I want to spend that much time around.
Yeah.
Like I've I know people who have no fucking idea about bodybuilding, but they understand in the sense of
Yeah.
they're like, okay, this thing is important to Luke. He's gonna do this thing. Does it really affect me? No, cool.
Yeah.
It's good that he's doing it. He's good that he's got shit that's important to him and he's gonna follow that sound. Like
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
mum fucking loves it because she's like, I don't have to cook for him. It's great.
Exactly. That was the point I was going to make. Like, it almost because you're kind of because we're so like we're focused on what we're doing, it can take the stress away from other people. Where like when I if I go around my girlfriend's house, they don't have to worry about cooking for me because they know that I'm going to come with my own food. And like if they have prepared something or like whatever, then I can just not eat that meal that I've got in Tupperware and enjoy with them. Same thing for like like on a night out or whatever, people don't have to worry about fucking I don't know having to like walk you home at 2 a.m. and you being on the piss up and like I don't know just ended up being a wreck because you're like oh no I'm a bit more organized than that or yeah whatever. But I think
Yeah, yeah,
when
yeah. And then the other thing that I was going to add to that as well was the way in which other people react to the shit that you do is completely on them. Like it's you you shouldn't try and censor what you do in order to appease other people
mm,
because you're unhappy and at some point they're going to be unhappy because you can only keep up that facade for so long before you're like actually yeah fuck this. So if you're on a night out and someone gets pissed off at you because you don't want to have a drink, like
it's
dude,
that's
what?
usually a pretty big indicator that they have a horrific relationship with alcohol. if
Yeah, like
if
literally.
if you're there with Tupperware being like we can be mates and I don't need to drink and they're like you need to drink, they think you can't be mates unless you both drink. Like already that's like why would I want you around you? Why would I want to be around you? I think normally like the way that people react to stuff just kind of showcases their own insecurities and like priorities and I think there is a weird thing about like I some people will take it as like you're trying to be better than them by getting into like fitness or health or
And
bodybuilding or
that's a
anything like that.
projection of their own feelings of inferiority,
Yeah, like
realistically.
clearly if you being more muscular than them bothers them, it's because they want to be a bit more muscular, I guess, you know? And like maybe they've tried and failed
Good
or
trend. Works every time.
but yeah, I think, like well, I'm sure like Luke as well, you like I've encountered like I've had mates where they got really weird about it and then I kind of was like, okay, I'm maybe not going to talk to you as much because you're getting weird about it and I just want to be mates and now you're making it into a whole thing. But then also I've had mates who I thought would get really like macho and competitive about it and they just couldn't give less of a shit. Like the more you do it as well, the more people get used to it as well and they're like, oh, actually this doesn't really change anything. So like when I'd go on a night out and people would just like see me with my Tupperware or like as long as you don't take the piss, you're like I don't know, fucking pulling out Tupperware like every half an hour or like putting like fish in a microwave or something. But
Yeah, don't do that. That's a dickhead move, bro.
but if you're at a
Rearrange
park,
your meals so you're not taking fish out with you because that's
yeah,
disgusting.
exactly. Like
That's not good.
I'd still try and keep it as minimal as possible. So say if I'm going out, I might bring a meal forward as long as my digestion's okay. Just so say if I was going to have 2 meals out during that night out, I might swap. I might try and get it down to once. Maybe pull a meal a bit earlier. Probably wouldn't have one later. Um, if you go into the club or somewhere where you can't really bring like a bag or like a rucksack or food with you, okay,
You can
maybe
take
try and.
bags into the club, mate. They love that shit in there.
That's funny.
That was
Nicely
a
done,
drunk
mate.
joke.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, fucking hell. But if you're in somewhere where like it's a bit of an awkward situation, well then okay, maybe take that as an untrapped meal, or again just like pull it forward depending on like how you feel. But yeah, so that was the kind of thing that I used to do. But if I was going around my mates and they were pretty understanding, like you just kind of got to do it situation by situation and how comfortable you feel. But if you're like with people that you've known for a long time, but calm, I can just stick to my normal routine. I'm just going to theirs. It's all good. But say if you go in somewhere where they're going to get like if you go into a restaurant or something, either take that as an untrapped meal, or if you're really not going to eat at the restaurant, get your meals in ahead of time.
Yeah, another thing that I think summarizes this pretty well. I heard this on Chris Williamson's podcast a while ago,
Oh
but
yeah.
it's something like most people don't need alcohol to have fun, they just have shit friends.
Yeah.
Like the friends that I would drink with at college, I could see them now and have just as much fun if I was drunk or not. I might
Yeah.
be a bit more tired, but I'm still having just as much fun,
Yeah.
sort of thing. Like if you need to be shit faced to have a good time, so shit faced that you can't remember it, is it worth going?
Yeah. I think like the reasons that someone gets into fitness is quite personal and quite true to yourself. And so I think if people are really going to have an issue with it, like if the reason that you're choosing not to drink is because you want to drop some fat, you want to get a bit healthier, maybe you had a health scare, or you've always been very, very insecure about how you look, and you're starting to get into like your 20s now, and you're starting to get into fitness, because probably that's most of the people listening, is like probably kicking in like late teens, early 20s. And you're like, I'm sick of how I look, like this is really important to me, so important that I'm going to stop drinking, and the people around you aren't okay with that. It was either going to be fitness or it's going to be something else. You know, maybe in another life you got like a really nice, well-paying job, and they got really pissy about it because you know wouldn't go out in the middle of the week or something, or you got a girlfriend before them or something really fucking petty. You know, I think often people get kind of hesitant because it is like fitness that maybe pulls you away from those people. But I'd say if those people really don't have your best interest at heart, that's going to translate into all things. If you keep those people around you, they'll have multiple things to bring up, if that makes sense. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a thing there that you have to accept that when you go through like a big life change, like getting into the gym can be, when you
Mm.
start to take it pretty seriously, there's going to be a chapter there where you're not quite the person you were when you had all of those friends before you got into the gym, the kind of person that they liked. Before you then go through that and you have all of these gym friends on the other side, you are going to feel quite lonely. You are going to feel like all of your mates are out at the weekend. If they're the sort of people that get pissed off at you because you don't want to have a drink, dickheads.
Yeah.
Um, you are going to feel like you're sort of a little bit left out. So do the best job that you can to start to make those new friends that have the same interest of you, whether that be speaking to people online. Like that's how we met. We
Yeah.
spoke online. Same with me and Tom. Same with like fucking all the other people that I know through bodybuilding. We
Mm.
originally started speaking online.
Yeah.
And same sort of thing. Like a really, really easy way to do this is when you walk into the gym and you make eye contact with someone, just fucking say hello
Yep.
or give them a nod. And then if they look like they can train, ask them for a spot. And then before you know it, you're spotting each other every couple of sets. You have a bit of banter here or there, that sort of thing, which can be
Yeah.
quite nice.
Oh, 100%, mate. Talking to the people in the gym is a good thing. But yeah, I think, you know, if you have relationships that are reliant on drinking and you weren't going to get into fitness, at some point you were going to slow down with drinking or miss a couple like nights out or whatever, and that was going to be, you know, the catalyst for that rather than fitness. But I think, yeah, just that intermediary stage is quite important where you're not quite as into the gym as you will be eventually, depending on however that is for you, but you're also kind of not quite fully out of the gym and with those same people. And if you know anyone who does kind of go to the gym or has a similar interest or is kind of like on a similar wavelength to you, get them interested too. Like the my first few years of lifting was like I had a ton of different mates and they kind of, you know, would start the gym and then quit, and then I try and get someone else into the gym, and I kind of always tried to keep
Dude,
someone.
I did that. That was so good. I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
that.
You just try and
Every
keep.
fucking time they'd get a girlfriend and they'd be like, "Yeah, I'm not coming anymore."
Oh mate, no, it wasn't girlfriends. It was just like I don't know. They just gave up after a little bit. But yeah, like I think you know, just trying to get like it's good, and it kind of makes you realize like even if they don't stay in the gym, it kind of makes you realize who is your mate, because they're at least like trying, and they're trying to be, you know, trying to take interest in your interests, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah,
Get what
buddy.
you mean, dude. I think that's a good place to sign it off
Oh
for
yes,
the week. We're liking the little bit quicker ones. I think they're a bit better for
yeah,
people to as well
for
because
sure.
we did give it a good ramble in the past, mate. So I'm off to Berlin. I'm waking up at 4 o'clock tomorrow for that. I'm so excited. It's going to be great. I'm going to come back about 10 pounds lighter. I've lost all my muscle mass and gonna cry.
Very nice, mate. Very tidy. And my weekend is going to be, I think I'm going up to London to play mini golf, and then doing
That was my
some.
invite.
You're not invited, mate.
Okay, sick. Cheers.
Yeah, because you're in
Didn't want to come
Berlin.
anyway.
Yeah, that's right. I'll go with DP Fit instead. I'll go with Dan.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah. Right. Thank you
Dude, we
everyone
need
for
to get him
listening.
back on the podcast.
Oh mate, we'll do a special guest episode. That'll be jokes. Maybe
Yeah,
next
we
week.
do. Those podcasts were jokes. That was like peak podcasting for sure. Right. Thank you very much for listening, people. Share it on your stories. Give us a like. Give us a review. Pop us in any questions, anything you want us to talk about, and we will do it. As John Cena says, just do it. Is that John Cena?
No, that's
No, I don't
Nike,
think
innit?
it is. It's Nike. Fuck.
Yeah.
What am I
John Cena
on
is you
about?
can't see me. What is wrong with you, mate? Fucking
Oh my
hell.
God, I need to go to sleep.
Goodbye,
Wow.
everyone.